Okay, this will be a quick trading recap for Monday, February 24th on the S&P 500. So first things first, going to look at the pre-market plan. This is what we were looking at 9:14, about 15 minutes before open. This is where the market was at. And basically my plan was, so at the context, we had a big sell-off Friday, and then we started to recover a little bit over the weekend. And this recovery was kind of finding some support at this previous 6045 key level. Um, and then I also marked it out down here to 6050 because you can see that bounce there and rejection there. So I was planning to be bullish as long as the market remained above this level. Now, if this level broke, I then wanted to start looking for possible shorts into this level down here as long as we could break this low. So here's those scenarios real quick. There's that first thing I'm watching that I said 6054, 6050 to hold a support. And then I said if there is a strong break of 6050, I want to start looking for shorts. But I need to be cautious of that 6045, 6042 level. So that's what I just said. If this level breaks aggressively, I want to start looking for shorts. Um, but I need to be cautious of a possible bounce down here. This wasn't a level that I would want to take longs off of, at least not on the first bounce, but it is a level that I would be cautious of bouncing the market in a short position, if that makes sense. So, looking at the market, it's kind of distorted here because of how fat that sell off was. But, um, right before open, we start to bounce a little bit off of just a few points below the 6050 key level, and then get a really big rejection here. At this point, I'm watching to see if any buyers step in here and defend this buying right here. If they don't, selling gets really aggressive and breaks that low. So now what I'm watching is after this sell-off right here, I'm watching for a pullback. Ideally, I wanted to see a pullback all the way to the 6050. But, however, I started seeing some, when we pulled back to this previous low of day right here, this low of day from 9:30, when we started pulling back here to the 6046 area, I started seeing some good confirmation that we might reject here and keep moving down, and I wanted to go ahead and put on some risk. So let's look at that confirmation. There's that 9:30 bounce at 6047 right below our 6050 key level. Get some buying. The buying was aggressive. I'm honestly kind of surprised that it sold off from that. So this is kind of where I'm watching for a possible long, especially right here when it started slowing down a bit, but I never got my confirmation. And then boom, we get that big aggressive sell off right there. Big aggressive sell off right there. Pushes past this level. This is when I start wanting to look for shorts. We get this pullback um, into that 6046 area that I was talking about, the previous low of day. And then that starts to reject. And here I kind of start to say, all right, let's see if this gets retested again. Let's see if it defends. Some selling starts to come in, then we retest. And I like the way that this ask defends the buying. This ask sitting here at this previous low of day is now defending against this buying. You can see buyers are not super aggressive up here. And then we start to sell off again, and I get short right about in here. And then we get a nice little dump. Um, my target was 6035. So the one thing about this trade is my exit management was not the best. I got a great entry, but I started to get a little emotional on the exit, which I'll talk about here. So we bounced 1 point away from my target where I had limit orders sitting to take me out of this position. And then we start looking like we're going to come and rally up. And remember what I said, I was watching I was cautious of 6042 through 6045 to bounce the market, and we were technically below that level, but to see this break of our new low of day and then kind of come right back up, it got me off track, and I was unable to hold to my full target, which is definitely a emotional mistake that needs to be corrected. But you can see I started to scale out early. I scaled out like over half my position, above my 6035 target. Here's where it finally hits, and I got out some. This limit order, which was two now, was originally four contracts. Um, but yeah, basically my mindset was I'm seeing a possible red flag here, especially there when we come down and don't break the low right away. And I wanted to kind of reduce my risk to where this would be a break even trade with me still holding my stop above break even. So that means I scaled out four or five around a little bit over 1R, and then I was still holding the rest at negative 1R. Um, I'm not saying that's how I should have done it. That's just where the mindset was at the time. I'm definitely wish I handled this differently. Yeah, but then on that last contract, I got a really good exit. I was just trailing the stop. You can see I could have even gotten a lot more, another 20 points possibly right down there, even 30. Um, had I been more cautious with that stop, but again, I'm not mad with how I handled that. I was not expecting that fat of a sell off anyway. But yeah, that's how I managed this. Eventually did get that continuation. Eventually did get this nice push through. This was when target was hit, and then from there we just had a fat dump. So yeah, pretty straightforward day. I was watching this 6050 level for longs. Didn't get a long entry, broke below it. That put shorts in play. Saw this previous low of day rejecting, put on risk, took the trade, didn't manage it as well as I could have, but scaled out some at target and got a nice scale out down here on the rest of it, or the final contract. Yeah, that's all for today.